This is Helen with the Better Half blog. Do you see my nails today? It's not done. I usually do them every 2 weeks on Saturday, but I actually took them off yesterday because one of them decided to pop off. So that usually never happens, but you know what? I didn't want to wait for Saturday to come to film a video, so here we go. So we'll try this without the nails. Today, I wanted to take you through a plan with me in my Hobonichi cousin. Now, I was really focused on trying to use my Hobonichi weeks this week as my main catch-all planner, and that worked very wonderfully, but I decided that I miss using and flipping through the pages of the Hobonichi cousin so much. And if you have a Hobonichi cousin, you probably know what I mean. First thing I do in my planning process is to open up my iPad, and this one I just upgraded recently. So it's now the new iPad Pro, but I do open up to my Notion, and let's see, is it going to, okay. So this is my dashboard. I will go through my dash one of these days on my Notion, but for the time being, I'm going to show you how this looks. So this is just Helen's dash, and it has, in the morning, first thing I do is track certain things, check out my meal plan, so if I need to defrost anything throughout the day, and then I have my running list. These are kind of like my most high-level things that I want to get done throughout the month of March, of each month. So I'll be updating this once a month. And then I have my weekly to-do stuff like watering the plants, you know, doing the steam and vacuuming on the main floors, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of that. And then I have my bookmarks and important things, company work information, and some big projects that are going on throughout the year, as well as things that I share with my employees and some of the projects that I want to keep my eyes on. So that's what I have going on here. Oh, and also this is kind of my YouTube planning here, and in this page I kind of keep a track of my subscriber counts here on the left, and then my idea bank on the right here, and then on towards the bottom is my content list. So these are all the ideas. So every time I have an idea, I would jot it down in my Hobonichi weeks in one of the pages, and then I would deliver it into here from my inbox. And then once I am ready to start outlining things, then I start outlining, and then I would move it over from here to scripting it, and then from scripting it, ready to film, and then from film I would then go to edit and schedule and complete it. So that's what I would do. And so this really helps me to stay organized. Let's go back. First thing I do is I go into my future log, and my future log kind of carries all my goals and objectives for the month, and divided by quarters, it goes to all my birthdays for everyone that I care about, and then as well as all the holidays throughout the year, and important due dates for projects. So I go into my future log, and I also go into my iPhone calendar to see if my husband's traveling on a certain day, so that I know how to schedule out my day that way, as well as my monthly here. Now my future log in my Notion, I typically don't go into it until the following month, so I just use it once a month. But here I'm going to look at all my stuff, high-level projects and things that are due here, and then I will deliver it into my Hobonichi cousin on the March. Now the reason why I always go back to my future log, my phone calendar, as well as my Hobonichi weeks, is that I typically update as new appointments come up or new deadlines come up or important dates that I want to notate into my daily planning. Is updated in real time. So I don't want to lose sight of those important tasks and reminders. So I always go back to checking these three things. So going back into the March is, so we're working on this week, the 22nd to the 28th. Okay, everything is pretty much updated, so I don't have to worry too much about this week. Next thing I do is I go into my weekly, and here's an empty. I love seeing an empty weekly because it makes me feel so good, like so happy. Okay, so I'm going to focus and use a couple of colors. Tombow 761 gray clean color dot. For important notations, I'm going to be using this Zebra Sarasa 0.5. I just got this new pen, Uni Jetstream, so I'm really into Jetstream, and as you know, I typically use my uni-ball Jetstream, the F series, and I always take the black ink out and I always replace it with a 0.7 because it just rolls so much better, and my writing is completely different with it. But for this planning, I will try this new pen from Jetstream. It's a 0.7 in here, and I've been really loving it, and this gel part is really amazing. I am going to go and flip through, remember my little notebook, and I use two of them. One is for inbox, anything new ideas and things that just come up in my head. I would just jot it down here. Haven't done so much of that lately. But I have this as kind of like my reference book to keep me organized. So this is my minimalism list, and I'll link the video up here, me talking about this booklet. And these are some of the high level things that I want to get done throughout the month. And a lot of them are already in progress, but I want to complete some of them because we're running into the third week of March. So I'm going to start listing these out. So let's see how I will do this. Because I write like this, highlight the week, and it's the week 12. I am going to try and do something a little bit different. So from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I'm doing my workout, either yoga or Chloe Ting. And so let me mark that off. And I started to do that on the weekends as well. I was kind of letting myself sleep in during the weekend, but lately I realized that starts a bad habit going into the next week on Monday. So I decided not to do that. And so on the top here, I'm gonna primarily use it for keying in schedules and things, because from 5 to 6, it's just workout. So I don't need to track anything, especially because I have this new habit tracker. If you guys have seen my Instagram stories lately, I've been using this habit tracker on my sticky note that I printed out. I customized and printed out using Canva. And so I don't have to do habits and goals in any of my planners anymore and rewriting, because it's just all there. And on top here, I will be using it to track down some of my high level, secondary, and then my meal plans. Okay, so here, let me write that down real quick. 1, 2, 3. Wait, Sean is traveling this week, so I don't have to pack lunch every single day. So just two days is all I need. Okay. And so I will be doing my meal planning during the weekend, because that's where I get the most ideas, and I like to look up new recipes, healthy recipes online, and do easy Instant Pot type of cooking, and still be able to have healthy meals for the family. next I'm going to highlight the times that are not available for me to work or do some of these tasks. So that's what I will be doing here. Our kids have Taekwondo starting back up again. We're gonna try to attempt at Taekwondo this week. I was not able to do that last week. So because my kids are not in school on this day, they're still on spring break on this day, I have all the availability except for the Taekwondo driving time. So that is between 4:30 and 5. Then what I like to do is kind of focus on different primary stuff first, going through. And I put a diagonal line to signify that I have it, like I'm going to be working on it, scheduled to work on a certain day that I'm going to be committing to. So on days like these where I have a lot of available times, I really like to focus and keep it very productive. Okay, so that is pretty much how my week is going to look. And then now let's go into the today section, starting from Monday. I made these sticky notes. I made 6 of them to see if it'll work. So I'll stick one of these here on this page to start for next week. And it's going to be for week 12. And I will just keep a collection of them in each, like the ending date. So I would just stick it on the next day to follow, and then it'll just stay on the last day as I close out the week. So that's how it's going to look. And the way I'm trying to use my daily, I kind of thought about it and I kind of played around with it on the days that I did not use my Hobonichi cousin. So let's take a look. It was one of these days back here, I recall. I was thinking, I kind of made a couple different spreads. So this is one. See, I just journaled in here. So this is one and another one. So just kind of keeping my routines and things. But since I have my routine sticky notes, I'll probably not be using this type of spread. And then maybe this type of spread. I was thinking like to-dos on the right side and then kind of my schedule on the left. And I think this is going to be most effective to keep me very productive and being able to see kind of my time slots throughout the day, as versus something like this, that again, going back to the routines, which I don't need to write down over and over again on each day on the daily pages. So I'm thinking what I will end up doing is using this spread right here. So on the empty spreads, which I don't have much of because I love this notebook, I do kind of play around with the different spreads to see what I want to do and how I want to use it, because before I used to always use it like this, where you guys are used to seeing me do my create time type of planning here. So this is how I used to do it. I used to have all my schedules and high level, like that one important highlight of the day that I want to get done. So that's where I write down any notes from the highlights. And then all my tasks go here in the middle section, and then my habits and goals on the left, and then closing out my day with some reflections, and also writing them down throughout the day to kind of be factual about what happened throughout the day, what were some wins, what were some fails, and what can I do differently the next day to be highly productive. So that was kind of like my way of doing things. And then I realized that I was going to switch it up, because as we know, sometimes we just need a different spread, a different design of how we do things, because it does get a little bit boring sometimes. And when it gets boring with your planner, it's a no-no, because then you lose your motivation, and then you go into the whole procrastination mode, just because you're not highly productive anymore. So I hate to see myself in that position. So I always like to switch up some things to see what works. But what happened was, when I did switch up the spread design a little bit, what happened was I then I saw myself go back to this layout over and over again. I think it's something to do with the fact that I did use this spread for a couple of months throughout the year, and it worked so well for me that I just keep going back to this. But then I realized there's a lot of areas where I don't need all this room, and I'm kind of wasting paper and time, or wasting space, because I love to write the reflections from each day, because that helps me to remember what happened each day, to then go back and back plan or journal in my other journals. So I just kept going back to this type of planning. So that was interesting. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to do. So let me just do one, and so that I can kind of remind myself that this is how I'm going to use it. About it. And then my time slots that I am not available for work is just simply that little 5 o'clock time. So from here to here, I'm not available, and I will signify that and put a little dot. Put taekwondo. And that's probably what I'm going to do. And maybe put some dots here and color this one in, just to make it a little fun and motivating for me, because that's the most important thing for me. And I'll probably use this area down here somewhere as my reflection. And I just ordered a bunch of things from Sterling Ink, so I'm really excited to receive that order and have those washi tapes and stickers to add into my planners. I'm so excited about that. So that's pretty much how I have my planner layout, and I'll be using it that way. And thank you for joining me on my first ever Plan With Me video. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye.